we haven't been properly introduced. I am the Van Norman No. 12 horizontal and vertical milling machine. I was made in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1943. I don't know why I have this accent. I have a power feed running through a gearbox that runs the table back and forth. I don't, however, have a power knee, to the chagrin of my operators. Dirty, dirty gearbox. I used to be a dirty, dirty mill. But my new owner cleaned up my act. Hey, stop that. Like I was saying, I got better. My gearboxes are clean and refreshed. I was doused with a lot of not glass cleaner. It was wonderful. I feel like a new me, a new Van Norman. My table is shiny. I'm ready to go to work.
I'll take over now. Here's some documentation about this mill. It was new once. You can see how this was made way back before the war. It was a simpler time, a time of huge American metal being used to build the future. You can see some of the accessories that they had available at one time. It does a bang-up job as a horizontal mill too if you have the attachment arm. I'll see if I can maybe make one of those in the future, when I'm better at milling and find a big piece of steel that big and thick. Here's a copy of the manual that came with it. It would have been nice to have the fluid pump system on mine, but that would have probably complicated things and stuff. This shows you how to move it, how to use the gears, some maintenance, and some drawings of the internal workings. There's that fluid pump setup again. I might have to do something about that. And the power feed gearbox that I did a video on. Some good reference material in there. Now let's run through the controls. Alright, well here he is, the Van Norman No. 12 mill. It's been retrofitted. Got a 1 horsepower motor up here. It's not the original. The original was this big, huge, gigantic thing. This one's a better one, more efficient. Still 1 horsepower as the original was. It's been rewired. There's some wire stuff over here. Let's run this back and forth a bit. Here's the cross feed. So, it's got this, they call this the ram head up here. Because it moves back and forth, I guess, kind of like a ram. It's got this big bar that sticks out. And this comes out to about here. And then the head turns. And you get a horizontal machine right here, so you can mill. You can put some blades in between there and mill some big stuff like that. The knee comes up and goes down with this. This is in and out right here of the table, and then back and forth over here. So let's turn it on and run it a little bit. I've got it in gear up here, got it in gear in the back. The one thing with the back, it also has a new motor from the original, and it's been shimmed in there, and it was a little loose, so the belt was kind of moving, so I shimmed it a little bit further, and that's made it a little tough to get it started. So to get it started, I get back here, turn it on, give it a little kick, First we got to plug it in. There we go. Plug it in. So we'll give it a little kick and flip it on. There it goes. So that's running in the back. So now we got it here. Feeds it away. Take this and it goes to the center, stops it. Go this way to feed back. You see the stops right here and right here. It gets to the stop and it pushes down on the plunger and it stops it by itself. So now we back it up a little bit. There we go. Put it back into gear. So it's got a drive shaft back here. You can see going there. That comes from the gearbox. You'll see again, gets to this end stop here. When it gets to the end stop, it'll shut off. Man, well done. Put you back behind there. So it's turning. That off. Alright, so let's look at this head here. It's a nice Kirk vise, 6-inch vise that cost me almost as much as the whole milling machine did, but it's worth it. It's very nice. Alright, let's take this off. I guess it was a little loose. So this is the collet it takes. Collet. Right there. It's a Hardinge 5V, or they call it a Norman C. Van Norman CVNC collet. Very rare. Only one I have. This is a 3/8. I just bought one off of eBay for lots of money. A 1/2. Should be arriving here next week. This just goes up. You've got the bar, right? The whole thing that goes through the spindle head. Goes into there. Tighten that down. There we go. Well, let's put an end mill in there. Luckily, I have a 3/8 end mill. Can go in there. All right, so to turn it on, we just have this one switch right here. There is no reverse, so I'm thinking of putting in a different switch here so I can go forward and then reverse, switching back and forth. We'll see. So I just turn it on. shaft for the transmission in here that we fixed. Which turns this, turns that, and turns that. So that's on a fast one there. Let's go a little slower, shall we? How about that one? That one's probably slower. There you go. And then once you got the table moving too, it's pretty cool. You can set it up to take a pass and just set it up and take a pass. Of course, the knee is manual. Goes up and down, kind of like on a Bridgeport. Goes in like this. Manual again. I need a little handle for here. I think that's easier. But it's in really good shape for being so old. Let's put that back into where it was before, where we found it. There we go. That's a fast one. So I've started to install a DRO on here. Let me take this off. Started to install a DRO. You can see we got one back there and then one back in the back here. These glass scales. So this one, the only way I could mount it was like this. So I'm gonna put this neoprene around like this so that it covers it up and you don't get any chips in there or anything. And it's gonna kind of keep them off the ways and everything, so that'll be cool. So yeah, pretty cool. Nice solid. I still wish I had the big mount here that you saw in the manual, but maybe I'll make one of those. I saw this old Tony made one for his Schaubling or Scholbling, whatever he calls it, that Swiss mill. It's pretty similar to this actually. So maybe I can do that. I get a big huge hunk of metal and use the mill to make its own parts, right? So yeah, it's in great shape for how old it is. It works really well, cleaned up really well. I like it. It's going to be a fun mill to get to know, and eventually you know, you can see I'm putting the DRO in there. I'm going to have that hanging off over here so I can see all the exact dimensions of things. It's hard to get something to fit the knee here. I think I'm gonna have to put it across here and then drill into here somehow. I don't know. It's gonna be hard because that moves. I'll have to cut down my last scale to fit that, but should be doable, right? There you go. Well, now you've met the Van Norman. Look for more projects using this in the future. We're going to have a lot of fun and learn how to use this stuff. I still haven't forgot about Mr. Cinti Lathe over here. As you can see, I've been doing some chipping on this. That one big piece of metal that I had that stopped me in the first time, actually I was able to, I got some new carbide bits and I was able to put a new one on and actually cut it. So looking a lot better with the new cutter on there. But anyways, this video is about the mill. So here's the Mr. Mill, all happy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. That'd be cool. Maybe we'll talk with the Van Norman again someday.